Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Dr. Kaisar Ali, and I'm going to present my paper on portraits of academic leadership in Brunei tertiary institutions and a special reference to Melayu Islam Beraja philosophy. And we are four authors in this paper. First is Prof. Razali Mat Zin, second is Noor Anisa Sarbini, third is Noor Ashkin Yusuf, and myself, Dr. Kaisar Ali. We are from Faculty of Islamic Economics and Finance, University Islam, Sultan Sharif Ali, Brunei, Darussalam. So let's start with our presentation. So the agenda for today's presentation will cover the research background of this paper and the problem statement of this study, significance of this study, research methodology, findings, and conclusion. So let's start with our research background. As we know that global academic institutions over the last 2 decades are exposed to significant reforms to improve the relationship between universities and colleges to cater to the needs of different societal stakeholders and establish external sense making. Therefore, in this regard, university presidents and vice chancellors through their leadership skills are the keys in transforming higher education institutions. However, presidents and vice chancellors often they find it difficult to diffuse traditional values, grounded philosophies such as Melayu Islam Beraja, and innovative ideas across all levels of tertiary educational institutions. This, however, these factors they may reduce tertiary educational institutions' progress and raise concerns about the leadership effectiveness of vice chancellors. And now we are going to have a look at the problem statement or the relevance of these studies. So over the last 2 decades, Brunei have experienced numerous economic, social, and demographic changes, which have enhanced the significance of various sectors in the country. Particularly, the education sector in the country is in dire need of transformation to improve universities and colleges' organizational system and management in a way that it aligns with its vision or Wawasan 2035 and its objectives. To cater to the changes, tertiary education providers in Brunei Darussalam are required to improve their education system in a way that they improve and establish innovative teaching methods, develop research culture, promote cultural diversity across all levels by upholding the country's national philosophy of MIB. These transformations, coupled with globalization and internationalization, are expected to bring new challenges for the VCs of the universities. Here is our significance of this study. This study will allow the presidents and vice chancellors of the universities to identify the leadership skills and competencies relevant to leading the tertiary educational institutions under the influence of philosophies, national philosophies such as MIB. The findings of this study are expected to facilitate the regulators and policymakers of tertiary educational institutions to identify the most suitable candidate to appoint as a VC or a president. The findings are also expected to help tertiary educational institutions to establish internal and external sense giving and sense making by catering to the needs of different stakeholders in the society. And lastly, our findings are expected to assess how individual skills and competencies contribute to enhancing tertiary educational institutions' progress. And in this slide, we are going to have a look at the research methodology. First, we are going to discuss the sampling procedure based on the objectives of this research, the philosophical foundation and organization of this study. This is an explanatory and qualitative research. The primary data related to essential leadership skills and characteristics required to guide 21st century universities in Brunei was collected from four vice chancellors currently employed in different universities using a semi-structured interview questionnaire. And we use NVivo for our data analysis to help us generate the leadership skills and characteristics. Dimensions. Now we are going to discuss dimensions and themes. So through the semi-structured questionnaire we have designed in this research, we divided that questionnaire into four major themes, which are cognitive skills. It has 11 themes. Existing leadership skills. It has 6 themes. MIB influence. It has 2 themes. And desired leadership skills, which has 3 themes. Altogether, we have 4 major themes and 22 sub-themes. And how we validated the content analysis technique, we use Kirpin-Droff criteria following 4 steps. First step was the researchers. They coded the same transcribed interview twice at different time intervals using a checklist in Microsoft Excel and the 3-level structure in Microsoft Word to confirm the researchers fully understand the coding process. Secondly, we tested and verified the reliability of intercode through experts with similar academic backgrounds and have expertise in content analysis of the same transcribed interview, which is then compared with the researcher's results. And our third criteria was the reliability of intercoded was enhanced by giving a similar checklist of content analysis and 3-level structure to another coder who had no academic background and prior expertise in content analysis, which will help us to test the clarity and feasibility of the instruction. The second coder was provided with 1-day training prior to the analysis, and the replicability assessment of the content analysis method. The results of the replicability of the content analysis method are presented in this table. So as you can see in the table here, when the first coder was provided with the training and it has has some expertise and knowledge about the coding process, the results were 100% similar to the researcher's result. Whereas in the second coder, when we saw, even though we provided training but had no expertise in coding process, the results were slightly lower. And here are our descriptive findings. We can see here our participant, we had 4 participants, and these are the mean and median and standard deviation values. And before we proceed to our main findings, we did analyze the coding matrices for both themes and the dimensions using a Pearson correlation. As you can see on the left hand side here, these are the results, reliability results for our themes. We can see all the themes were closely related, which showed that our data was reliable and valid for further analysis. And we ran a word frequency search in our coded interviews to gain an access to or an overview to leadership skills and competencies. And our word frequency search results showed that MIB, along with the different leadership skills and academic excellence, these were the major codes appear in the word frequency search. And then we used a tree map to analyze the dimensions and thematic overview. As you can see, all in this tree map, all our codes and our themes, they loaded in our tree map except for desired changes, which university VCs, they except the desired changes and academic excellence. These two codes were not fully loaded in our tree map. And here we use coding matrices to analyze the broad spectrum results for the dimensions. As you can see in the results over here, these are the results for the themes. You can see MIB influence, it had the highest coding results, which shows that MIB influence uh, was revealed highest in our results. And then we can see the results for our themes as well. Here we can see that the theme of essential strategic policies, it had the highest coding matrices. And here in this slide, we will analyze the differences in the leadership styles and competencies. So these are the results for University Brunei Darussalam. Here we can see the Vice Chancellor of University Brunei Darussalam, it laid more emphasis on the transformational skills of its leadership, and the second highest coding matrices were for the MIB influence. In this slide, we overview the uh, leadership leadership style of University Technology Brunei Darussalam VC. And as you can see here also, the VC of UTB, University Technology Brunei Darussalam, it laid more emphasis on the desired changes in her leadership skills. And the second highest was critical success factors. She laid more emphasis in her leadership skill on critical success factors. And then in this slide, we can view the leadership style results for the University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali results. And here also we observed that the desired changes was the main agenda in the leadership style of UNISA, and the second highest was the focus on academic excellence. And in this slide, we can view the results for Kupu SB. The leaders or the vice chancellor of the Kupu SB, they believe more on the desired changes in their leadership style. And then the second highest coding coding matrices result was for the roadmap for recommending a roadmap for future VCs. So here are the findings or the summary of our research. Overall descriptive statistics indicated that the current leadership skills and competencies of Brunei University VCs had a 76% relevance to the required skills and competencies to successfully guide the tertiary educational institutions. And our results of the Pearson correlation indicated that the collected data was reliable and valid to analyze the skills and leadership competencies. And the overview of leadership skills and competencies represented the dominance of MIB philosophy in the acquired existing desired skills to guide tertiary educational institutions in Brunei. And the results of tree map represented the relevance of proposed leadership skills and competencies dimensions and themes of this study to successfully guide the higher educational institutions. However, two of the themes, desired changes in leadership style and the extension of timeline to achieve academic excellency, were not identified or were considered not relevant. And our fourth finding was the dimensional overview confirmed the dominance of MIB influence, which confirms the significance of this dimension in guiding tertiary educational institutions. The thematic overview also highlighted that the significance of strategic policies, cultural influence, transparency, talent identification, and seriousness are the key components of participants' leadership styles. And the findings have empirically confirmed the difference in leadership styles among VCs of tertiary educational institutions in Brunei Darussalam. So that's all for my presentation. If you have any questions, you may email me on this address. Thank you so much for your attention.